the brand team appreciates that kind of work in social because it gives them almost an immediate feedback loop of different tonality and styles and approaches.
Yeah, and I mean, we can test stuff really quickly and see what content performs, what's getting engagement. We get a lot of feedback. And then also the interesting thing I think about our category, or anybody in this space, really lifestyle or hospitality, is your customer also helps define the brand, right? And if we're doing a good job of attracting the right people with the product offering and the experiences, they actually help us with our voice as well. And it's something that we've actually really kind of mined this year, more so than we had in the past. And we can talk about how we've done that. But I think, our users, our following, help also define what the brand voice is this day.
Take a second and walk us through your frontline team and how it's structured, because I think our listeners would be surprised to know that your team is not what we might consider to be enormous, considering the number of channels and the number of attractions that you're supporting out there in social.
Yeah, our organic team in Las Vegas is really small, actually. It's really 3 people on the front line, and they each have
3 people for 9 casinos, guys. I just want to make sure you understand what we're talking about here. Everybody gets 3 casinos.
Yeah, right. Wow. So they and all the channels that those operate in. And then when you think about the businesses too, it's not just Caesar's Palace or Flamingo. It's all the partners that are involved in the business,
restaurants,
all the businesses that operate, the entertainment, everything that makes up that total experience. So they are dealing with a tremendous amount of responsibility. I think that, they do an enormous amount of work, obviously. And then there's a manager that helps with the analytics, where to engage, the content calendar, the channel strategy, really the overarching strategic direction and our influencer program. And then we have a director above that, and that reports into VP of marketing. They work hand in hand with our care and total service team. And then we have a paid team that sits in our internal media agency that we work very closely with. But they're more media buying and planning. And actually our manager does a lot of the paid content and derives a lot of learnings out of what performs in organic. And we've just seen massive performance improvement with really learning from what we do in the organic space, applying that to paid, and then taking learnings from there and iterating on that.
Do you ever foresee a time where social or messaging or another platform starts to kind of take its place and be able to do that? I know many of our, as we mentioned before, Hyper is a friend of the show, former advertiser, Carlos Garcia, a good friend of Jay and I's. They have the ability to kind of do some things like that and kind of know where your guests may be, if they're on or off property. Just curious kind of what you see the next couple of years looking like in that particular space.
Yeah, I mean, what they're doing is really interesting. And we've started playing with that, with their technology, really for us, it's competitive conquesting, right? Because we can geofence other locations on the strip and be dynamic in the message that we're serving up, more so in the display space right now. But it's been interesting in helping us to build audiences that we prospect to, and then really find some media efficiency in the dollars that we're spending in those spaces. But I think, like you said, like the interesting thing is like knowing where a customer is based on what they're posting in social. So we can see if like cohorts or clusters of customers are across the street or right next door at Bellagio, and then we can serve them up, in the mobile space where, they are interacting and looking for travel recommendations. We know they're a high intender, and we can give them an offer or serve up a piece of content for Hell's Kitchen, which is right next door to Bellagio, to try and pull them over. And so we've been testing in that space. We've seen some early success. We've seen like a 30% efficiency in some of the campaigns that we've been running. And it's really exciting. I think like the future in that space is really bright. If you go to any conference, there's a lot of talk about what's being done in the geo space, but it more so is like how are you empowering it and using it strategically and thinking about really like what we do in like the database or performance side in email. You can apply that to what we're doing in the social space really, and thinking about customer clusters and interest groups that are real time, and then you can actually measure them if they walk into the space and you get a conversion, which is really exciting.
Prediction time, you and Adam. What happens first? Legal sports gaming in all 50 states or legal weed?
Adam, you want to go first, or you want me to take that one?
Well, I have a feeling about the great state of Texas, and it's going to be gaming before it's the Laffy Tobacco here in the here in the
Bible Belt.
Buckle of, yes.
I think it's a tough one. I think, in some of the more conservative states, gaming might go first, but the legalization of marijuana, it's a big industry out here in Las Vegas. I mean, we follow federal law at the properties right now, but the county and the states are looking for ways in which to take advantage of that. So it'll be interesting to watch. I think I'm with Adam. I think, gaming probably goes first across all of the states. And that's really interesting for us.
If Julius Caesar were alive today, what would be his favorite social network?
Oh, Instagram for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Togas, right? I mean, it pretty kind of, it's made for Instagram. Yeah.
It's all about the visuals.
Yeah.
Absolutely.